Hello, glad you're here. I lead the business Copilot AI group. My team develops AI technologies that power the new Copilot experiences in Dynamics 365 and Power Platform. Over the last year, generative AI has transformed how businesses interact with their users and how they leverage their data. One of the most exciting recent developments are small language models, or SLMs for short. Small language models are an alternative to large language models like GPT-4, which powers ChatGPT. LLMs are great at solving all types of problems and trained on massive amounts of data, like the whole internet. SLMs are much smaller, incorporate less knowledge, and are thus not as good as solving general problems. But SLMs can specialize. They can be fine-tuned to a particular domain. As a result, SLMs are much cheaper, faster, and often even better than LLMs for these special problems and domains. In this presentation, I would like to give you a high-level overview of what SLMs are, some of the most popular SLMs, and how we at Microsoft are leveraging this technology for our Dynamics 365 and Power Platform Copilot experiences. A good question to ask is, if LLMs like GPT-4 are so powerful, why do we need SLMs? SLMs have the potential to reduce latency and cost without sacrificing quality if they are applied in their domain. The principles are the same as for LLMs. The big difference is that they are much smaller and trained on less data. Rather than using the whole internet, SLMs are trained with small, highly curated datasets. Quality instead of quantity. As a result, SLMs do not have the broad knowledge that LLMs have. But what they do know, they know well. SLMs are particularly attractive for enterprises. Enterprises do not want to work with the common knowledge found on the internet. Enterprises want to operate on their own proprietary data and knowledge using their own processes and actions. And that is where SLMs shine. Enterprises can fine-tune SLMs with their own data. This way, SLMs become experts for the jobs that need to be done in a particular enterprise. At Microsoft, we leverage the power of fine-tuning in SLMs for specialized code generation tasks and for process automations. We are exploring SLMs and fine-tuning in many other application areas as well. The data we use for fine-tuning our models is public data and synthetic data. One particularly effective approach is that we use GPT-4 to generate training data to fine-tune SLMs. Today, we do not fine-tune SLMs for a specific customer or enterprise. The long-term vision, and once this technology has matured, is that we have fine-tuned models for each customer. When we do that, data privacy and protection are non-negotiable for us. We would use your data to fine-tune your models that are used exclusively by your organization. We would never use your data to fine-tune any other model or use anybody else's data to fine-tune your models. Over the last 6 months, there has been great progress on the development of new SLMs. The first set of SLMs were distilled versions of larger models like DistillBERT from Google, which used the larger BERT model as a teacher to distill a smaller version of it. OpenAI has also created smaller versions of GPT called GPT-Neo and GPT-J. GPT-Neo has 125 billion parameters, and GPT-J has 6 billion parameters. The latest generation of SLMs are models specifically trained as SLMs on small, highly curated datasets. Phi2 from Microsoft Research is a prominent example here. The idea of using high-quality datasets makes it possible to create even smaller models than GPT-J. Phi2, for instance, has only 2.7 billion parameters. Phi2 runs on your mobile phone. The results are extremely promising. Phi2 cannot compete with GPT-4 on general-purpose tasks, but it can compete with other LLMs that are 25 times larger, even on general tasks, and with fine-tuning, it is extremely competitive with any LLM. We have experimented with SLMs on two scenarios: the generation of automations and the generation of PowerFX expressions. These two scenarios are extremely popular in Power Automate and Power Apps. For example, makers can ask Power Automate, using natural language, to create a new workflow that reacts to an email from a top 10 customer, retrieves all relevant information from the CRM, and presents the seller with a summary of the email and the relevant data. As we can see, GPT-4, the best-known large language model, does quite well for these tasks of creating automations and code from natural language. However, GPT-4 is also expensive and slow. It can take several seconds to get an answer for complex tasks like these from GPT-4. Small language models like Mixtral and Phi2 are fast. They produce answers in milliseconds. Without fine-tuning, the quality of these models is low. With fine-tuning, however, these models are both fast and high quality as GPT-4. And this is just the beginning. We believe that we can get much better with more research on fine-tuning. The advances in generative AI are breathtaking. Every few months, a new LLM is published that outperforms the previous generation significantly. At the same time, there are great advances in developing specialized models for certain domains, such as large action models for process automation, vision models such as GPT-V that understand images, or models such as Zora that generate videos. SLMs are a new class of models that have shown promise in many application domains. And there has been breathtaking progress in this new area of SLMs and fine-tuning. We cannot predict which technology will ultimately win, or which combination of technologies will win. Our commitment to you is that we will continuously explore all these technologies and incorporate best-of-breed models into all our products. We will do all the hard work of selecting and tuning the best models so that you do not have to do it. Thank you for watching.